Hi there, this is Jason Eagle, your Natural Health Authority from my new office in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, 317 Jerry Street. My phone number is 734-985-5891. My website is www.strategichealing.us. My email is jasoneagle@strategechealing.us if you want to get a hold of me. But this issue is about, well, it's an old-timey thing that we still see, and it's what's called cachexia. And cachexia really means that you're wasting away. You are not digesting protein, you're not assimilating protein, but it's not only protein, it's in particular amino acids. Because when we digest food, chew up food, there's three components to food. One is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is energy. Fat is also energy, but fat also is building resources because we make our brain out of fat and all kinds of other things. We actually make more energy out of fat than you do out of glucose through the ketogenic state, so it's the preferred form of energy. And then we eat protein. Well, protein doesn't really give us energy. Protein is chew up some protein. Cheese, some meat, some broccoli. There's a lot of beans, a lot of things that have protein. Chew up saliva, broken up, goes into our stomach. Hydrochloric acid gets secreted to that. That's applied. That starts to break stuff down and actually starts to break apart the bonds. And then we go into the small intestine and other secretions are added to break down, in particular, pancreatic enzymes, liver enzymes, stomach enzymes to break down. So one of the main things that breaks down protein is what's called protease, right? Also have lipase, amylase, anything that's A's is essentially an enzyme, okay? So all these enzymes break down. Now, protein is then broken apart into individual amino acids. So if you think about Legos, there's the Lego pieces that have like 4 or 5 pieces, and then there's the other. Well, an amino acid is that one single little piece, right? Well, you assemble those different little pieces, and the first step that our body assembles out of amino acids is peptides. Peptides are a string of amino acids, anywhere from 5 to less than 100 of amino acids. What peptides are is pre-proteins that essentially are messengers. Think about them as like USB drives or chips that go into the computer that feed information and tell the body, the cells, what to do. Grow this, absorb this, make this, dump this, produce this, blah, blah, blah. So it's messenger signals, right? To then have your body then take your own assemblage. So if it's about, like, say, for instance, copper peptides, helps your body to then, so copper is how we make collagen, vitamin C and copper, how we make collagen, right? How we make hair, how we make a whole bunch of other things. Well, those are a protein. So hair is a protein, a nail cell is a protein, different types of proteins, that different amino acids that are combined together to form this actual Lego castle, right? Well, when we eat protein, we always lose, so there's a lack of efficiency. So even if you're perfectly healthy and young, you're never going to get a 90%, 100% efficiency on anything. Some proteins are more efficient than others if your digestion is good. So for instance, that's why whey protein is one of the things a lot of people do, because it's very efficient, but you're only really have an efficiency of 20 to 30%, 50% max, right? Whereas the older that you get, the more broken down your body is, the more you don't have those enzymes, the more you don't have hydrochloric acid. You eat some chicken that's a good meat, but you're only utilizing 5%, 20% max, right? So 80% is being dumped out. So you say there's these many grams of protein in this particular food. How many grams of protein are you actually assimilating? You give this a period of time. You have people that have damage, have infections, and blah, blah, blah. They get older. Now their body is wasting away. And this can happen even when people are younger. But a good sign is when you're older and your muscles start to deteriorate. So, old grandma and grandpa falling and breaking a hip is really not about their brittle bones that we thought. right? What it is because they lose so much muscle mass in their legs that they get wobbly and they fall over. So it's really grandma and grandpa are wasting away and getting what's called cachexia. But we can also see this. There's actually a test that you can do, and this is a test that's I run on people through LabCorp. You can order it yourself. You can order it through me. It's what's called the MVX Plus. And the MVX Plus is just a small little vial of blood. And it tells different things, tells your inflammation, but it tests for 4 amino acids. And these 4 amino acids would be citrate, valine, leucine, and isoleucine. But those 3, valine, leucine, and isoleucine, are the really important numbers that you want to see on this. Because if those numbers are too low, then you are what's called cachexic. Meaning that could be one of the reasons why you feel like crap, why you feel like junk, and why the supplements aren't working very well and other therapies are not working well. If you've had a surgery, it's not healing very well because you just don't. And people say, but I eat good. But if you're not absorbing it, then it's not working. It's not going to where it's supposed to. So in comes to the rescue this Premier Aminos. Now, this comes in an unflavored. I like the raspberry flavor, the berry flavored. It tastes pretty good. Still has a little bit of a weird taste to it for sensitive people. Like, I don't like stevia. But if you like stevia, you'll love this one, right? But what you do is a scoop of this is the equivalent of 30 grams of protein. 30 grams of protein that is assimilated 99% in the bloodstream, bypassing the digestive system. So it goes directly into your bloodstream and then goes to the body cells without even having to be digested. So, and then it's very low calorie, so it doesn't even have it. So it's not a caloric intake. So if you got a person that says, I'm not meeting my protein needs, this is very important for lots of conditions. So we find people that have been going to, let's say, weight experts or exercise experts or their trainer and said, you know what, you're not losing weight, not because you're not exercising enough, you're not eating enough protein. And I know personally a number of people that have bumped their protein up, and if you want to lose weight and exercise, it's essentially a gram of protein for every pound of lean body mass, which means, and I actually have a scale that I can put people on that is like a biometric scale that sends signals through your body, and it will tell you what your lean body mass is, which means take my bones away, take my fat away, and take my water away. What is my muscles? And so if you have a person that wants to lose weight, what you do, you say, well, what is your target weight and what's your ideal lean body mass? Taking away the fat, right? Now you come to that number where it's 130 or 170 or 210 or whatever. That's how many grams of protein that you want to eat on a day. However, a lot of times people really have a lot, or let's say you get a person that's older and very sick, or they're wasting away, or grandma and grandpa, you're really worried about them falling over. Put them on this. I've put a number of people, and I've had some really older Amish ladies that keep reordering this from me because they love it. They love it. I also have them on creatine too. But in particular is the amino acids. When you pump up the amino acids, and you will see this, I've also verified this later as we did this test. It's a pretty cheap test, $100. You can do it every 6 weeks or so, and it will show you how things are being affected. In particular, you will see those amino acid levels come up, which means your body's becoming nutrified, right? And there's no replacement for these amino acids than the actual protein, or in particular, even better, is these amino acids, getting them straight. And the kicker about protein, again, remember protein, the only valuable part is the amino acids. It's what's absorbable. What does your body get into the bloodstream? And as you get older and have more problems, you're not absorbing it. You need to eat all the protein you want. And what's even worse is people drinking these protein shakes that are the Ensure, and I will throw these babies under the bus. They are crap. They are the worst nutrition. They are horrible. It's like cheap baby formula for adults. They're horrible. They are very highly processed. They're really bad for you. These isolates, these soy isolates or whey isolates, they're horrible for you. They can actually damage your kidneys because your kidneys don't detoxify them. So go to something that's very clean. Go to something that works. And this Premier Aminos FX, which in particular I really like the berry flavor. So if you got an older person, you're talking like 4 scoops a day. You can do 2 and 2, or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can mix it with food. You can take it on its own. It's a good thing to put in some water first thing in the morning with a little bit of sea salt so you get your electrolytes. But what it does, now this is what bodybuilders have been doing for a long time, is either a pre-workout or a post-workout, and it works for them because it helps to build muscles, right? However, a lot of the stuff that they've had has been really junk, and so this is kind of a newer formulation, but this Premier Research Labs, they only make and only sell the absolute cleanest, best. And so it does. And so you have older people that are having trouble with really, cachexia is one of these things. It's this failure to thrive. You can give this to children too. You have children that are not meeting their dietary needs, meaning they're just eating, Cheez-It crackers and macaroni and cheese. They're not eating the chicken crap fingers that you wanted. So they're not getting enough protein. Well, that's a real bad problem for little kids, because if kids do not get the protein, especially as they're growing, this is going to, number one, affect their brain. So your kids are often not as smart as they could be, not well adapted. So a failure to be successful as they become adults, meaning get a good job, have a good career, have a good family, make good decisions, starts when they're younger. And the main thing is that they're not nutrified. We can talk about minerals and vitamins and all this other stuff, but really the bottom basics of protein and this is the most essential part of their body when they're making their body, right? So this is important for everybody. But the big ones that we see is where you're having a failure to thrive, when you're getting older, when you're growing, when you've had an injury and you're trying to repair. This is super important. If you've had a surgery and you're trying to repair after the surgery, because the repair of the surgery, you have to build new cells to re-knit everything together. And so there's just multiple conditions where this is super, super important. The most basic would be just 1 teaspoon or a scoop here, and that's 30 grams of protein, plus it's just straight amino acids. But if you really want to get a kick out of it, anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, 4 scoops a day, and you do that for a period of time, about a month, and then write me, give me a call, tell me how you feel. And I tell you what, everyone that does these higher dose in the beginning, they go, wow, it's really dramatic in terms of how much better I feel. And if you want to verify it by through some testing, you can see it on these numbers. You can absolutely see that valine, leucine, and isoleucine come up. So this is Jason Eagle, your Natural Health Authority, 734-985-5891. If you want to get a hold of me and book an appointment, and I can test you and find out what you need. Until next time, bye-bye.